Have you ever watched a child draw? Can I see your hands? So picture this. You have a child right in front of you, painting. And at that point, I tell you that the child does not care if the colors match. The child at that point does not care if the strokes are straight or if the lines are in the right order. Now, at some point, that's childhood, but now this is adulthood. There's a gap between childhood and adulthood. That gap is called freedom. So going into adulthood, we've learned to trade that freedom for caution. I don't know who told us so, but somehow, I think we found ourselves there. We're told to wait until we are ready. We are told to wait until someone notices us. But a child does not do that. A child does not ask for permission to go ahead to do whatever they want. In fact, we as parents, or parents actually wishes that their children will ask for permission for everything they want to do. But in this case, even when a child knows that he or she is to ask for permission, they don't. They simply just create boldly and free out of so much curiosity. Like I said, from childhood to adulthood, there's a gap, and that gap is freedom. Over the time, we lose that freedom. We traded our crayons for painting, for caution. We're told to wait until someone says we are ready. And when we are ready, we move from school to job, to promotion, to retirement, and maybe enjoying your pension if there's so much to enjoy, and the call to glory. But why not start the glory from the initials? Why not start the glory from initials in the first place? So imagine you have your canvas and you don't have to wait till you are noticed. You don't have to wait till someone says it's time for you to climb the ladder, then you climb it step by step, you miss your steps, you go back, you fall down. Some people will even tell you, for you to climb the next ladder, you need to have these certain things. You need to have spent 10 years, 20 years. Now, in a case whereby people up the ladder have not even fallen yet, how long will you stay beneath the ladder? So that's why you have to paint your canvas, because there's no ladder anymore. And that's something I actually learned early in life in my career. So my first brush stroke was in the era was called Copperwee. I was size 8. Of course, I don't do size 8 anymore. I was size 8. It was in a government institution. I was called under 18 because I was really small. Thanks to the pictures you can see. I was really small, and it was during the administration of late Senator Abiola Adeyemi Ajimobi. I was paid the almighty 19.8. So if you're a Gen Z, you cannot relate. It's fine. I was paid the almighty 19,800 naira. And my colleagues were senior colleagues. So if I say senior colleagues, just imagine senior citizen. My colleagues were uncles, aunties, dad moms, grandpa, grandmoms. Now imagine sitting across the table with your grandma and walking. Can you picture that? So there are times that we are supposed to do one or two things and they say other 18. Sometimes they say it in Yoruba, Joko Sibe, meaning sit down there. And I told myself, I'm supposed to start my career right. This way, there's no ladder here. So one afternoon, after I suggested a better way to manage staff affairs, and it was a better way, but they refused to admit, and it's fine, because this is an African setting whereby you don't know more than your elders. Even when your elders know what you're saying is better than what they think. So it was one sunny afternoon, and I recommended a better way to manage staff affairs. And after I was done, everybody in the room kept quiet. Maybe they were wondering why so much audacity from a core member. Was it because the governor was there? Well, I was raised with audacity anyway, so I don't know what they were talking about. And an aunt dragged me and said, when I say drag me, literally pulling my ear and said, you cannot change what you did not build. Wait your turn. And you can see the motherly love and tenderness like, my dear, I'm looking after you. I get it, but this is the wrong way. And she said, wait your turn in decades to come. And the Yoruba girl in me thought, decades to come, okay? Everybody is hold here, so nobody is ready to leave the ladder for the young ones to come up. Okay, I said then, that's fine. It sounded like a stone in my heart, but to her, it was her being a mom to me. And I said, thank you, ma. Eshogoma. Meaning, thank you so much, ma. And I said to myself, you know what? There's no ladder for me here. Never, ever. The ladder does not exist. I cannot climb the ladder. Imagine waiting for 10 years for the person in the most junior level to leave so that you can get there, and you wait for the next person 20 years. That's my life gone, right? So I said, okay, I just started creating small ideas. Sometimes they say something, and I go to the people that actually need to do the job, and I say, let's do it this way. Then I turn back. So, and I tell them, when they ask, who told you to do it this way? Whatever the science means to you. This was what I would tell them. So after a while, things changed. Not because of my age, because I was given better perspective to doing things. They were in the times of paper. Because imagine a hall filled with dusty files and policies and documents older than the internet that's supposed to be on the internet itself. And now they are looking for it, and someone has to sit 5 hours. That is not my job. To check files for anything. Oh well. So over the time, it was under 18. Afa, what should we do here? What should we do here? And people that once dismissed me in rooms now begin to ask for my perspective on certain things. Not because I knew better, but because I was not waiting for someone to tell me it was time to do something. I was not waiting for someone to tell me I was ready to climb the ladder at that moment. So if I had waited, they would have never seen why they should listen to me in the first place. And I said to myself, if I could influence people that were traditional, imagine trying to change the mindset of a 60-year-old man that's worked in the civil service for 40 years. Who are you? Where did you come from? So if I could influence their ways, people that were traditional in their ways, it means that I can paint my canvas and it will turn out beautifully anywhere. Well, we all know NYSC, mandatory, is a 1-year thing. So it was time. I remember when it was POP, we call it POP. It was the last day and I was exiting. It felt like the All of Honor. Everyone was clapping. From the least, from the youngest to the oldest, and people at least expected. And it felt like I was being, when you're seeing someone off to say, oh, our daughter is getting married today, let's see her off. Because when I went back home some months, my parents were asking, did you tell them you were getting married? And of course, no. It just showed that if I had waited for people to always tell me it's time to do something, I may never do it. Well, like I said, months went by and it was time to face the life after the government-issued life. Yeah, the 1-year NYSA. And my first work experience after then was in a hospital. Not as a doctor or a nurse, I don't look like one anyway, but as a junior administrator. And my first week, I noticed something was wrong, structurally, not medically. So I think it's a thing with me, right? I don't know if it's a firstborn thing as well, but I can easily spot when something is not coordinated, or when something is not right, or when something is going to go wrong. It's just a thing with me. And well, that led me to my career path of being an HR consultant today. And as a junior administrator, in the first week, I noticed everybody's always confused. Doctors just say, this, and that's it. You come in, you don't know what you're doing until you get to where you're supposed to do it in a medical setting. How? No, ask yourself, how? So I told myself, okay, something has to be done here. So one day we were sitting in the staff room, and my colleagues were murmuring about their frustrations of this and everything that was going wrong. And nobody has said what they are going to do about what was going wrong. That's when I knew my canvas has expanded. It was now time to create something out of nothing. At the government house, I was recreating. But at the healthcare sector right now, even as a non-medical person, I have to create something that never existed. So I started mapping out some things. I remember that day, everyone was going home. It was 5 o'clock, and I told myself, I'm going to give myself 2 hours. I remember my sticky notes, blue, pink, and lemon. Lemon was things that should be done by non-medical persons, like myself, the admin. Pink were for the nurses. What I would like to see in a nurse, if I were to get to an hospital and made me stay or continue using the hospital. And of course, the other color for the doctors. And after a while, I didn't wait for anybody to say, don't do this, do this. I didn't gather the staff. So each time I walk past, I just say, I know what I had listed out, and I just say, you know we are supposed to do this like this. And I say, oh, admin T, thank you. Oh. So it became, and that's how cultures have been replaced. It became a consistent whisper in their ears. And over the time, things began to shift. I remember when our external specialist, in person of Dr. Shumulu, walked up to me and said, young lady, I don't know what you were doing. Whatever it is you are doing, please keep doing it. In my head, I was like, you've hammered. And you've hammered was a lot to me because it means that if I can achieve these things at two different places, no one can tell me I'm not ready to do anything I dare to do. When I mean anything I dare to do. After a while, like I said, I'm not a doctor or a nurse. I never wished to be one. It was time to now move to where my core skills, all the lessons I've learned, while not waiting for someone to tell me it was time to climb the ladder, it was now time to put it into core practice. So I went to the consulting firm. And believe me, the canvas were braver. So imagine having a multinational company as your client. That one is not where two or three are gathered, and you dare not make mistakes. So our clients were companies that needed reorganization, companies that felt they were at peace but never knew the peace was missing, and companies that felt like, or business owners that felt, I have this idea, I have this money, fix it up. Let me know what you have left. So I knew it was time to move on to something like that. And when I got into the organization, in no time, I gathered MV colleagues. And that was because I don't wait for someone to say what idea will work. I read up all over the nines, study competitors, and get my job done. But my colleagues were always waiting for the top consultant, who does not even live in the country most of the time, to say, go ahead and do this. And in no time, I became one of the lead consulting persons in a company. And I had to lead major projects for the types of oil and gas, Bovas, Total Energies, and the likes. And I kid you not, all these lessons put together in a short period of time, I could have wasted it if I was waiting for someone to tell me it was time to climb the career ladder. So in no time, I was able to lead major projects and do so many things. I remember one of our clients in the oil and gas industry, one of the MDs said, you did not just organize us, you gave us peace. We thought we had peace. We never knew it was missing. I said, okay, you're now a peacemaker, so to say. So it just ministered to me, yes, it ministered to me that you can do this and you're made for this. And I can tell you that as a global professional today, global HR professional, who is currently managing employees across 6 different countries, in my time zone that sometimes is difficult. I am at this stage of my career because I did not wait for anyone to tell me, now climb step 1. No, take 2 steps backward like you're playing the game. No, take 3 steps forward. No, take 5 steps backward. Now imagine if I was waiting for my turn in the government house. Well, I would come every day, sit with the dusty files, and do what? And maybe today I will say, oh, it's time to open this and sell this online, which is fine. I'm not condemning anyone who's doing that. But I'm saying that at every point in your life, you have to dare yourself. Because at the end of the day, the environment will adjust to you. The environment only adjusts to the you version that you've put out there. So like I said, I manage staff affairs across 6 countries now. And one thing I would tell you is that the career ladder mentality does not exist anymore. So first, set that ablaze. Because the ladder has fallen and it has been burnt. And because I see young graduates these days at the doorsteps of boardroom waiting for the uncles, auntie, brothers, friends, sister, cousin to come and say, oh, I know somebody up there. You know, you're always waiting for the up there person and you tender the paper. CV is paper. I'm an HR and I'm telling you CV is paper. I've had to recruit people, have people join our company. Not, anybody can write CV anyway, in the areas of, I'm applying for this job, paste the job ad on ChatGPT, put a better prompt, then you have a neatly branded self that is far from the reality. So I don't employ papers. I'm an HR. And I see young graduates doing that. And I tell myself, you're waiting for people that are not mindful of you. Nobody can be mindful of you than you. So you have to consciously create your painting out of any canvas you find yourself. And today we are standing in the storm of layoff. Massive layoff from AI revolution. Massive layoff from restructuring. If you can do one thing, AI will do 5 of it in the shortest time. So tell me why, as a business owner, I should employ you when AI can do what you're supposed to do more efficiently and faster and better. So now, that means that you have to create values beyond machine. Values beyond what is on paper. So according to SHRM, Society for Human Resource Management 2024 reports, we have millions of people that know that their job is at risk. They know that their job is at risk of AI revolution, automation, and so many other things. And even OECD is telling us so many jobs are on risk of automation, high risk of automation. Now let's bring it down to Nigeria, when the storm is even louder, heavier, and is moving mountains that are as high as whatever it's supposed to be. Every year, 1.7 million people are out of the academic walls into the job market. They have so many hopes in their eyes. And I was thinking that only if hopes could do it. Well, in this case, your hopes cannot do anything except you do something. So we have 1.7 million people out there thinking that one day, one time, they're going to get a job, and someone will just say, oh, you fit in here, when the fitness competition is higher than what you can imagine. And out of that, 70% of the 1.7 people are already scared that what they've gone to school to study is already erased. So what then are they coming to? You see people standing out there with their certificate in their hands, one from printing like they've been kept in microwave for hours. And you keep microwaving your CV. Microwaving in this context is you keep rebranding your CV, thinking the rebranding of the CV will change the opportunities that should come for you. Yes, only if the person has taken the audacity to paint what is supposed to be painted. So I'll leave you with this today. Your career is before you right now as a canvas. What would you paint? So I put this to you today. Your career is before you like a canvas. What would you paint? Start now. Thank you.